It sounds like a chipmunk doing a belly flop or like jumping from a tree and realizing that he's totally screwed. So he's just going to die. Like wee, but like 5 octaves higher. Welcome to Spin Dash, your 4th favorite retro gaming podcast. This is our 2nd episode, and this week we are doing Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. I'm your host this week, Moldorm Johnny, and with me is Madam Meow Meow Matt, and sadly this week we are missing Ragin' Hinox Nick. He had some internet difficulties and decided to opt out for the betterment of the podcast. So Matt, what are you currently playing? What are some recent pickups for you?
Some recent pickups for me would be bandwidth, because we actually have some now.
Huzzah.
This has been a long stretch of just terrible technical difficulties, like one after another. We lost two attempts at a Sonic the Hedgehog episode before we gave up on that shit. And then tonight, you and I, we're doing marginally better than Nick, who's at home not doing this at all. We're like marginally better than that. So pickups. What have I been playing? I've been on a little NES kick. And it sounds like I've picked up a ton of stuff, but we haven't recorded in like a month or two. Like, we've had quite a lull. So
I'd say it's been about a month.
Well, the problem is every time we get to go do something, it's like we have a setback. It's like, oh, this happened. It's like, oh, shit. Well, we can't do it tonight because, so-and-so's got hemorrhoids. We're not recording tonight.
Yeah,
so,
hemorrhoids, man, they wreck you.
They'll get you in the butthole. So,
sneaky.
Blaster Master. I don't know if you ever played that. Great game.
I have not, but it sounds like Thunderdome.
It does, doesn't it? Master Blaster. Legacy of the Wizard. I've been banging my head off the wall playing Ninja Gaiden. I've never beaten it and never will. So there's that.
You are a masochist when it comes to Nintendo games, my good friend.
That game, it's just cruel. It's fair is the problem. And I think that's the thing that pisses me off the most about it. It's like, I know I can beat this game. I just can't. So I just
try. I appreciate your ambition on these old ones and some of the new ones even. When we tried to play them in college, and I would give up after like a minute. So you have far more stamina than I do for these old games that are incredibly frustrating.
I went to work one day and my thumb was killing me from the night before. Like, that's how you know it's it's gotten bad. Like, you probably should go get therapy.
It's like Mario Party back in the day. Like, you're worn your hand out.
You could be like N64 Mario Party. Nothing has destroyed more. Like, there's a whole fleet of just crapped out Nintendo 64 controllers sitting out there. All Mario Party. Mario Party just ravaged them.
They were smart. They said, hey, we're going to make a game and we're going to have some side profits off of this thing.
Yeah. We got to get them buying all these controllers one a week because it's going to break down faster than a Pinto. I mean, it's just...
I don't even remember what controllers used to cost back then. Wasn't it like $50?
It had to have been expensive, especially that one. I mean, it's such a weird... the plastic alone is just a ton of plastic.
Somebody had an H.R. Geiger dream and came up with that thing. And that was weird deviation from their excellence.
It's a standard controller with just a massive penis in the middle.
Hey, man, Geiger loved his dicks.
Dicks and vaginas.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, nothing for me this week. I set up Homebrew on the Wii, and that's how I played this game that we're talking about. And I've been playing a couple others here and there. Yeah, I know. I somehow misplaced another of my Nintendo games, and I think I lent this game out with a Game Boy to somebody, and I don't know who it is. I thought it was our boy Nick, but I guess not. I'm not sure. So I go do some sleuthing later on this winter because
you're kind of like the Rockefeller or Carnegie of gaming. You're just like giving away all your wealth. Like, you spent your whole lifetime acquiring all these wealth of games. And you're like, you know what? I'm later in life. I'm just going to give it all away.
I'm making up for the fact that I was a selfish little asshole up until I was like 14. So I need to atone for my sins.
It's that only child. It's that only child syndrome.
It is, man. I didn't want to share anything.
Sure, it's for pussies.
Yep, pretty much. But I did play some Earthbound after I beat this game, and I'm getting into that. So that's exciting. I think that's going to be a fun one for me. It's nice and weird, because this game that we're talking about this week is one of the weirdest ever. So I'm glad to follow suit.
Do you like it, Earthbound?
Yeah, it's okay so far. I've only played like a couple hours, but I'm sure it'll get hard or something. Something will piss me off, and I'll stop because that's been what I do.
I got a controversial opinion on Earthbound. I don't get it. I don't get the love for it. Like, is it beloved because it's so rare, and it's rare that Nintendo had an RPG? Because it's just like, I play it and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I don't get why it's $120 for a shitty labeled cart. Okay, but it's okay.
It must be one of those ones, man, because I bet you whatever that Aero Fighters one that's worth thousands of dollars also is not that great of a game. Right?
I don't know. I mean, people love it. I don't get it. I feel like I missed a memo or something on why it's so beloved. I don't know. There we go. We just lost whatever listener that we had. We lost. That's
the one guy. You just offended him dearly.
You criticized Earthbound. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, rage quit on you. So yeah. I forgot this in our previous attempt. What are you drinking tonight?
Well, here's the thing. I have the same case of beer from our failed Sonic attempts, a month ago. So I am drinking a Founders All-Day IPA Session Ale. The same thing the last 4 attempts that we've tried to record a podcast.
Yeah. Hey, you get a 12-pack in there and it'll last you.
Yeah,
once you hit your 30s,
Yeah, well, I'd have more time to drink if I wasn't fighting animals all night. So, I mean, if he thinks bats and squirrels and God knows what else that has broken into my house recently.
You have a rodent rave in your furnace room, I hear.
Yeah, that was... So I was playing BioShock, and minding my own business. It's a creepy game. You should play it. I encourage you to pick it up.
Yeah, I'm going to. I always honor your recommendations.
Yeah. Well, there's banging in the other room. I'm like, what the hell is it banging? And Nikki's like, no, there's nothing. I'm like, no, there's something banging. And sure enough, there's something stuck in like the air inflow on the furnace. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So the only thing I've got in the furnace room is this curtain rod. Those like shitty ones that you hook up, like the curled ones on the end, the rounded ones. So I'm like trying to fish whatever's stuck in my furnace out with a curtain rod. And the damn thing runs back up the pipe. I'm like, oh, fuck me. So we just had a bat like a month ago, and it was a crisis scenario. So I got smart, and I was like, oh, I got this old screen door that I need to take to the dump. I'll cut the screen off it. Like, there's no way this thing's going to get through a screen. It'd get through all the screens in your house. Came home the next day. Screen was still there. Like, Nikki and I were going to go out to eat. Checked it later that night when we were ready to leave. Fucker chewed a hole through it. So I spent, like, literally last night, it was like a country music song in my house because she took the kids, she took the dog, she went to her parents. Like, she's not staying in this house with like bats or squirrels or I think it's a squirrel.
Sorry, I just got more ammo to make fun of her for. That's awesome.
You should have seen it. So I got this metal caging now. So my furnace or this air inflow, so is caged up. So whatever this thing's stuck in there can't get in. So yeah.
So it's trapped in there.
It's going to die. It's going to stink up the whole house. But
you're going to have fun with that. Yeah.
That's why I have the rest of the Founders All-Day IPA Session Ale case sitting up in my fridge.
You can deal with that with enough beer.
Drink till it don't stink, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I also had that happen last week. We leave our door open for the dog to go in and out in our back patio. And I guess my wife wasn't paying attention and let a chipmunk in.
Fucking Alvin.
Yeah. Right. And the cats failed at their job to capture it. And we just thought it ran back out. It did not. Thought there was a bad smell. Thought it was a dog. Whatever. Ignored it for a week. It had crawled in the side of the radiator.
Where
the little, pipes come up and there's enough void space for something to fit. it fit, and then expanded to that area in its throes of death, and then it stunk. And I hope you don't have to do this for yours, but picking an animal that is slowly disintegrating out of a small area is challenging.
That sounds absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. So that was rough, and yeah, I definitely had a few cocktails to deal with that one.
Yeah. So I can't wait. So
yeah, but yeah. So tonight I drank already a Cosmic Bloom from Foundation Brewing, very tasty. And and now I'm on to a Super Prime from our new favorite place, Good Fire, which when you come down this way again, we're going to take you to, because it is amazing.
Good Fire.
Yeah, they are small, but they will go much bigger, very fast.
Excellent. Look forward to it.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty. So let's move on to the history, your history with this game, Matt. What you been doing with this?
So my first exposure to Link's Awakening was illegal. Yes, it was. So this was back in the day. This was probably first, maybe, I don't know. Pokemon was probably my first game, but first game I've emulated. One of. Oof. Back in the day, I want to say it was in junior high. On the track and field bus, there was this one kid that had a bunch of floppy disks that had like a Game Boy emulator, maybe like No Money Game Boy. I can't remember what the old emulators were. And a bunch of floppy disks filled with ROMs. So
I can just imagine this DOS boot up and what it looked like.
Yeah, man. I can't remember who I was telling the other day about like old and like Nesticle. Did you ever use Nesticle for NES?
I did not. That's a clever one, though.
It was awesome. Named after a ball sack. It had like this bloody hand that was dripping when you loaded things up. It was awesome. It was emulation. I did not get an actual cartridge of this game until, my God, last November, maybe.
Nice. Did you purchase that via eBay?
Yes, I did. I want to say this was one of my Bitcoin cash outs. So I'm one of the few people that made money on Bitcoin. I didn't make a ton.
Hard.
Oh my God. I sold at like 18,000 something.
Yeah.
And immediately pumped that all back into games.
Yeah. Why not?
Everyone else, I think, wrote it out like, oh, it's going to go to, 11 million a coin. It's like, no, $6,000 is where it's hovering today. So I'm one of the handful of people that made money on Bitcoin. And by money, I mean like $100, $200.
Yeah. Hey, that's pretty good for small time investing on your own.
So how about you?
Yeah. This was my first Game Boy game, actually. And I think it was second grade, my present for crushing the school year, because, I did that as a kid because I was a nerd. And my parents got me the Game Boy and the game. It came as a combo pack. And so I got this, and they were like, you can only play it for like 2 hours a day because it was summer, and obviously, you want to be outside. And that wasn't a problem for me because I really didn't play that much Nintendo at that point. But this game was very cool because the Game Boy you could take anywhere. I played it when we were at camp, in the car, all that stuff.
Did you have
it was hard.
Did you have a front light for it, or are you one of those kids that was like shuffling around, like angling it in the sunlight? Have to sit under.
Totally had to tweak it. Yeah.
Got to be under 100-watt bulb at all times.
Yep. Thankfully, I had a little clip lamp next to my bed. That helped. So I'd sit up and play this until somebody caught me and would say, "Shut the light off." But yeah, man, this game was hard as a second grader. I got to say, a couple of those first dungeons were pretty taxing on my brain and my patience. Yeah.
The sixth one, the Eagle one, I think that'd been it. I would have thrown the Game Boy.
Oh yeah. So I did not beat this until I was in middle school, I think. I came back to it because, Pokemon was in its heyday then, and I beat it. And so I revisited all the Game Boy stuff that I had, and I picked this one up. And the save file was still there, so I was like, yeah, might as well. And I remember having to go online to look up a couple things and how to beat it. But yeah, I finally got there. And what a weird ending. What a weird game in general. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, it's quirky. It's probably the quirkiest Zelda. I think what happened was they were making this game, and they had 2 Zeldas under their belt. Two good Zeldas. And
it's like The Godfather. You don't talk about 3.
Some people, I've heard a couple of them make a good, an argument or two to defend Link's Adventure or whatever the hell the name of the second one is. And I get it. It's influential and important. I fucking hate that game. Like, it's just not a good Zelda.
More than 5 minutes. No, that control system and this flow is awful.
It's the overworld, I think, is what pissed me off the most. I don't know. I hate it. I just remember hating that game. Maybe I should revisit it. But anyway, I feel like they were given, it's like, oh, we're going to put a Zelda game on Game Boy. All right, yeah, who gives a shit? Do whatever you want. And that's kind of the mentality. I think they just kitchen sinked it.
Yeah. Yeah, they released this back in 93 as Dreaming Island in Japan, which the title, I'm glad they didn't keep that title for when they ported it over to the US, because that kind of gives it away. Like, there's this whole big secret you're supposed to find out about this game. Like, hey, it's Dream Island. Okay, fine. But no, they called it Link's Awakening. Good title spin. This was apparently a direct sequel to Link to the Past, and the creator was Yoshiaki Kazumi, who started a little later in life with Nintendo and made these 2 games what they are. He kind of shaped the story. I think he was hired to do some graphic work originally, but somehow managed to get in there and start doing concept and story. And they were going to port, I think I got my information right, they were going to port Link to the Past over to Game Boy.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with that, why it failed, but I'm glad it did, because then we would not have this quirky adventure that you and I love so much.
It's funny because you can see so much of Link to the Past in this. You can see a lot of the bosses, like the ton of the bosses are taken right out of Link to the Past, but there's a lot of things in this that I think it does much better than Link to the Past. If I'm to be honest, the fact that you can jump, I don't know why that's just so satisfying to be able to jump in a Zelda game. Go back and try to play Link to the Past after this, which I love. I am not criticizing it, but it's, the Rock's Feather, that's where it's at.
Yeah. Oh, totally, man. It's makes everything way easier and kind of adds that fun element.
So when I did a little digging on this one, I heard that they started making this game kind of like a Mega Man 2 thing. They didn't have permission from Nintendo to make this game. They just started doing it. It was kind of let's see if we can get Link to the Past running on a Game Boy. And then it kind of evolved into something else. And they got far enough into making it. They're like, well, we've gotten this far. Let's do it right. Let's make a Zelda game. And they got approval to do it. But they got approval after the fact, which pretty ballsy. In my notes, I have like Takashi Tezuka as the director. And my only note underneath that is balls of steel.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, I feel like you have to do that in the gaming industry to kind of make your mark. And I would imagine that a lot of games that are super popular today were born of just dudes winging it,
Yeah.
Coming out of nowhere.
And the other thing, too, is it doesn't mean anything because I've never seen it, but allegedly it was inspired by Twin Peaks, which I never watched it, but they said it was basically they liked the show. One of the guys who was writing it liked the show. Was really into this like small town drama. So that's why there's like a small number of characters and you're set around, small towns in it.
Yeah. The small little island. Yeah.
I never watched the show, so it's kind of lost on me, but
it's a quirky show. Main character's a weirdo. I've watched a couple episodes, had to table it. It did not hold my attention at the current moment, but it's one of the best Showtime shows of all time. So I will be back to that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Especially now that I know that they gleaned some of the ideas for this game from that show. So I want to see kind of what their mentality was. But yeah, I want to know how this was a direct sequel to Link to the Past. Like, where's the segue? I want somebody to come back and put a little, even just a video showing Link getting on the ship, because you never see that in Link to the Past or the original Zelda or anything. So it's just like, yeah, he's gonna go take a boat, and just wander around. And obviously, he gets shipwrecked. So yeah, made for a good story and everything, but kind of a weird segue that they didn't have anything backing that up.
He set out from Hyrule and he landed on Vinyl Haven, Maine. That's where the entire game takes place.
Oh man, we got to go find that egg then.
That's right. Well, he was on the ferry boat. That's what it was. It was a rough day. The ferry boat capsized. He made his way from Rockland to Vinyl Haven. So congrats, Link.
Yeah, not bad. Watch out for a certain person who will not be named. Yeah. So another note with this was that it got re-released for the Game Boy Color in 1998, and they did some additional tweaking with this. They put in another dungeon, and they made the most useless edition of all of any game system was the Game Boy Camera. I never had one of these, and I never saw one. I don't know if you have, but I'm just baffled why they would put a camera that had a tenth of a megapixel for resolution.
Yeah, because you could hook it up to your Game Boy printer, which could print out that tenth of a megapixel onto like a receipt. Is what I think is what the paper was. It's what it looked like. It looked like one of those. It's like one of those adding machine things. Like, I've always wanted to print my face on an adding machine.
Oh my god! Can you just imagine having a scrapbook of all these Zelda shots? Because I've heard they come in and it's this funny little thing where they take a photo of you doing something in the quests, and then you can have the option to print it out while you go back to the little store. It's like, yeah, let me make a photo album of a video game.
You know what? I was such a loser as a kid. I'll be honest. If I had one of those Game Boy things, I could easily see myself getting a scrapbook kit. Here's me falling on Marn or Tarn or whatever the hell the thing is. Yeah. And then you go and you're an adult, you find that stuff. I'm like, man, I was a fucking loser.
Yeah. Yep. I remember making a notebook of Pokemon before I had a Prima's guide or anything, and just writing down stats.
Hey, you Pikachu.
Oh yeah. I got to level them up, man.
So did you play this the DX version, or did you go all original?
It was all original. I found that file available, so I went with that. But knowing that I could have done the DX, I would have. I just totally forgot that existed.
So Nick fucked us. So he's the only one that had the color version, because I think what Nick did was Nick downloaded it on his 3DS. He virtual consoled it. I played it on original hardware and bitched the entire time that I couldn't see anything. Trying to properly angle my Game Boy Color under the right light.
Sitting there under a lamp and your eyes are just hurting the entire time.
Nikki comes out and goes, "Are you playing Game Boy?" Yeah. So what's it to you? And she just gave me this that disappointed look. I'm probably never gonna sleep with you again. You and your purple Game Boy. No. We're married. We're obligated to be married. But you're playing a purple Game Boy. No, we're done.
Yep. Yep. Mine legit just shut it off one night and said, "Pay attention to me." I got that. Yeah. Thankfully, that was once, and I played it when she wasn't home more, so I dodged another bullet there.
I'd laugh that had been a big fight for you guys. That was the defining thing. You turned off Link's Awakening. I just got through, I was X amount of the way through the damn thing, and you just killed me. I'm going to sleep on the couch.
I would pull that card just to be spiteful. So let's delve into some backstory. As we've discussed, it's a storm that shipwrecks our favorite Dingus, and he gets rescued by Mexican Mario and Zelda's slutty cousin from out of town. So I saw the concept art for this game. I've been browsing, and one of them, it's perfect. He looks like Mario, and they're on an island, and they're in the jungle, and Marin's in the background, like, cheering him on. But they did not stretch far for Terrance's character. They just took Mario and expanded him a little bit and took his hat. And that was it, man.
I like how they made a Mexican Mario. That's the best.
Well, here's my train of thought on this one. Is that this is an island somewhere in the Caribbean, because either that or it might be New Zealand because of all the different climates. Like, you have the tropical side of it, you have a forest, you have a mountain, you have like a wasteland. I don't know. This is the craziest island that exists ever.
It's New Zealand. Gotta be.
Yeah. So I guess he wouldn't be Mexican Mario, but I'm going to stick with that because my train of thought is that Mario got on a cruise ship and from Mexico to New Zealand, and he got super drunk the entire way off pina coladas, and he hooked up with Crazy Tracy, and they had Marin, and now he just wanders around in a drunken stupor the entire time.
I mean, that sounds legit. That sounds legit. He's had a rough haul. So, he's an Italian plumber, but then he ends up in Mexico. And now, I want to see that family tree mapped out.
I do too. I'm very, very interested in that one.
Ancestry.com.
Let's do it. And we move on to Marin as the, I guess, second most important character in the game. She likes music. She sings. She's a closet psychopath. I don't know if you smacked a chicken when you had her following you, but she goes, "Oh no, don't do that!" And you hit it again and a few more times, and she goes, "Oh yeah, Daddy, give it to me." Like she wants you to beat the shit out of that chicken. So
yeah,
there's some skeletons in that girl's closet that we don't know about.
Yeah, and she always like covers it up too. There's a couple other things she covers up, like, I didn't mean that. And it's like, no, you did mean that. You fucking you sadistic bitch.
Total cock tease too.
If you take a shovel and you start digging with it, she'll sit there and cheer you on. She'll go, dig to the center of the earth, and it's like, you're crazy, lady. I'm not digging anywhere. You play the ocarina, and she tells you that you're doing a shitty job, so it's not very good. Yeah. And then it's like, did I say something? No, I didn't say anything. The last one I think is if you play the crane game, and if she wants
to win everything.
No, she goes in there and like if she wins, I think she picks up the guy. Like she claims guy running the game. Like, yeah, I win him. It's like, no, you can't have slaves, you asshole.
I own you now.
Owns himself.
Yeah. Nonetheless, I prefer her to Zelda. I'm just saying. She's crazy and weird. You don't have to... I think you save her ass, like one time in this game, and it's because she's stuck on a bridge. You don't have to fight anybody. You don't have to go through this whole rigmarole. I mean, Link is the perpetual cock tease, because he just saves all these women all the time, and they don't ever show him, like, getting it on, or, like, even getting to second base.
They hint at it, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in Mario, he definitely, like, gets married or whatever in the kiss, Mario RPG. I don't know what game it was, but... yeah, Link has the biggest blue balls of all time.
They have a section when you get Marin. It's like, oh, is now your big chance? It's like, nope, not your big chance at all. She just wants to run around talking to herself. He is a pervert. If you, I was reading, if you play the Japanese version of the game, when you're doing the, and we'll talk about this later, but the fetch quest where you're like, I got to trade this for this and this for this.
Right.
In the US, the Puritan version of it, I can't remember what you swim under near the mermaid, and when you're going to get the scale, she says something to you, makes an eek noise or something.
Huh.
But in the Japanese one, when you swim underwater near the mermaid, she calls you a pervert.
You're going to look up my fin. Yeah. Don't they have fins? Like, what are you going to see?
No, yeah. Well, maybe it's not she going to call you a pervert. I think it is pervert, but I know that you don't get a necklace from her. You're trying to get her top. That's what it is. She lost her top. That's why she's swimming around.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
It's something like Nick. Yeah, I mean Nick would know this shit, but he's not here. But yeah, that Link's a pervert. He's not getting any from Zelda. Zelda's kind of like, she went to boarding school. She's very prim and proper. She knows which. Myron's a dirty girl. Like let's not beat her on the bush.
She's that vacation side piece.
It's good Nick's not here because I feel like as we get further into this, we're gonna get raunchier and raunchier. The Gwyneth Paltrow thing last time put him right over the edge.
Oof, I didn't think of us he would kowtow to being PC.
I mean,
yeah,
we're gonna have to like get him to sign a waiver. So like when we get going off talking about Gwyneth Paltrow's her stones and where she inserts them. Nick has like plausible deniability. Like I know these guys, but I do not support the terrible shit they say.
How nothing has come back on me that I've posted online just baffles me. I've had like 5 jobs and they've never been like, so we're looking at your Facebook. You're a drunken idiot. We don't want you working here. No, how does that not happen? Everybody's like, be careful about your Facebook. It's weird.
We had Facebook at the right time because we could put the stupid stuff on Facebook before and nothing really goes away. But I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff back then did go away because we accidentally deleted it. How many times I've done it at least once or twice, I think, where you just get pissed at Facebook, like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm deleting my account. And then you're like, all right, I'm coming back. My table to make sorry.
Just delete it off your phone. Just delete it off your phone for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's good.
Yeah. So.
The next character in order of appearance / I guess relevance was Terran, and I've already made my Mexican Mario comparison, but I feel like he is on a bender, one of the greatest benders ever in this game because he does some stupid shit. Right off the bat, you gotta. What is he sleeping it off? I think. When you go back, he's just sleeping. He gets lost in the woods, right? Yeah, the first thing was he gets lost in the woods, and you don't know it's him because he's a fucking raccoon. Like how did the witch get to him and just turn him into a raccoon? Like here are some magic mushrooms, and he ate them. You're supposed to take him into the powder. I think he just ate the mushroom because he's Mario, right? You're supposed to eat the mushrooms.
So here's the thing, like. So in all your drunken escapades, like I'm sure you've woken up many a time, like, what the fuck did I do last night? Like I've never woken up like, what the fuck? I'm a raccoon. Like what the fuck? So
let me just hang out in this corner of the woods.
I think what he got into was, and I've been reading heavily about this because it fascinates me and I think it's funny as hell until it comes in my area. But the Brazilian zombie drug, I think he took some of that Brazilian zombie drug. So he's like running around banging his head off buses, trying to dive through windows and shit, wakes up as a raccoon.
Yeah. Hey, man. You're on vacation. Might as well go a little crazy, right?
Fuck it. YOLO.
Yeah. So yeah, he does some dumb shit. The raccoon thing. And then, what is it? He hits the beehive with a stick and gets chased off. And then just lets his daughter just go on a promiscuous rampage through this whole island. So, yeah. Also, where's his wife? I'm sticking to the Crazy Tracy theory. Like, she seems kind of slutty. She'd let Mexican Mario, drunken stupor, go have his fun. But then, like, was that his daughter from before? Or is that a new thing?
I think she left him. I think she's like, I'm tired of you going out, snorting coke all night, coming home as a frog or a gerbil. Like, you're done. No more. I'm out. I've had enough of your shit, Taran.
Get out. Get out of my house. The next one, who I found funny, and before I got frustrated with it because I was a kid and I was like, great, that didn't help me at all. But it's our mysterious man, Ilrira. Is it Ulraya? I don't even know. I'm going to say Ulrira. Yeah. The old dude sitting in the chair with multiple phone booths all over the island, who you go in and you pick up the phone and he just gives you some vague hint about things. and he sounds confused because he has Alzheimer's, and that's why he's sitting in his chair with a blanket.
He was one of those like Nintendo Power gamers, like one of those guys back in the day. You could call that 1-800-1900, whatever the hell it was, number, and you could give up like all your parents' bank account for like the shittiest hint ever in the pre-internet days.
Give me a tip for $9.99. Okay, you get 30 seconds.
I'm stuck on this Mario level. Have you tried jumping?
Please call back.
That'll be $9.99, please.
Worse than a phone sex hotline. I think that this aspect was a little underdeveloped. I feel like the phone booth should have been like a warp or something. You know, we have our little drop warps, but it would have been cool if you pick up the phone and you could go to another phone booth, right?
You could like get sucked through the phone and land on him every time because he's just sitting by the phone all day.
Wow, what are you doing, kid?
Get off my lap.
Oh, shit. But yeah, I think that something like, or he could have given you like what you're supposed to do next in your little trade quest or where a shell is or something like that. I don't know. I think they squandered an opportunity here with these phone booths. But that's my 2 cents on it. Our next character is the owl, and this fucker pissed me off to no end. And I think it started a trend, because how many other... I think Zelda, there's been like 3 games that have had an owl after this one.
I don't know. And you hate all of them, right?
Yeah, they just blather on. Like, yeah, they give you mild hints about things and the backstory and how you have to complete your quest. This owl is a moron because he wants you to complete his quest, but then doesn't his whole existence just cease to exist? Like, is he done? He fades out? He's part of this island, right? He's like, go wake this windfish. We're all not real. I'm happy, but yeah, kill me, right?
He's a suicidal owl. Those are the worst. That's why they're endangered. That's why they're endangered species. If they stopped killing themselves in dreams, we wouldn't have this problem.
Quit giving advice to little elven children with swords. And he didn't have a name. They didn't give him a name in the backstory. And so I looked it up, and in Ocarina of Time, the owl's name, and I'm going to butcher the shit out of this, is Capora Gabora. And he's in Majora's Mask, too, apparently. That's the name of that one. So it's like his... What's that?
I'm going to call him K Bueno. That's what I'm going to name.
K Bueno.
K Bueno is the name of the owl going forward.
That is a throwback. That's a good one. I came up with my own name for him because I was mad at him, and his name is Grumbo. I don't know. I was trying to be nice. I didn't want to swear too much, so yeah, it's Grumbo. But,
we could name him Dan. I could see Dan as the owl, right?
Dan would be the owl because he's crotchety and he just tells you things that don't make sense.
Get the shield, douchebag.
Oh, man. I hope he doesn't listen to this.
I hope he does. I want to invite him on so he can get on here and just be like, get the shield, douchebag.
He would just swear at us the whole time. And our 5th character, in order of importance / I guess appearance, yeah, because the owl doesn't appear until after that, is the windfish. And this is not a windfish, folks. This is a whale condor. I have dubbed it a new name because it is a whale. It's a whale. It's not a fish. It's a picture, and it flies overhead. It makes some weird little, like, I don't know what sound that is. I want your interpretation of it.
I mean,
I don't know if you had the volume on when it flew over your head.
No, I didn't.
It was hilarious.
I had no sound on this when I played. So if we get to a section we're like, oh, what'd you think of the music? I'm like, it sounded great for silence. It sounded pretty good.
It sounds like a chipmunk doing a belly flop or like jumping from a tree and realizing that he's totally screwed. So he's just going to die. Wee! But like 5 octaves higher. But yeah, he is a giant whale with like tiny little wings. So he's the whale condor in an egg. I want to know what these guys were doing when they came up with half of this stuff.
Hey man, when's the last time let's get a whale fish with a condor and an egg.
It's gonna sleep in an egg, and you're gonna get a whole concert ensemble together to wake him up.
And then everyone awoke from that dream who made this game, and they were a raccoon. The end.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah, that was my introduction of the players in this game. I don't know if I forgot anybody, or if you have any other characters that you wanna vent about or add.
Man, I've got to give I'm going through my paperwork right now. Got the crumpling paper so you can tell that I'm official. Do you know the guy's name? Popple. Is it Popple? The guy who's the dad who gets lost on the mountain.
Oh yeah, that dude.
That guy's awesome. I love at the beginning of the game. He's just like, yep, here's my kids. Nice to meet you, but I'm gonna get lost later, so come find me. Like, here's my question for you. Is he like me? Is he directionally challenged? So he's like, I'm gonna go to Bangor today, but I'm gonna get lost. So just come find me because I'm fucked. No GPS. I'm not gonna make it. Or does he want to like abandon his kids? Is he like, these are my boys. They're fucking annoying as hell. So I'm gonna get lost. Come find me. We'll have a beer.
I like that theory. I do. That second one. That's good. Just gonna go walk on a mountain for a while in circles.
He's Justin. That's who he is. Just fathering kids and then running off to the mountains.
Yeah, because that house that he's in with his wife and one baby, right? Wait, she was only holding one, or was she holding two?
I thought she had two.
She might have had two, but they had like 7 beds. So, are there more kids? Do we not see them?
He's like Justin,
playing beside the rooster statue.
I don't know, man.
It might be.
The only difference between him and Justin is Justin doesn't know how many kids he's fathered, and Paul knows he's got so many boys. He just wants to run the fuck away.
Yeah, get the hell out of there, man.
Who else was really neat? That was a character that I liked. In my notes, I did have that Marin. I did think she was a dirty girl.
Yeah,
I'm going through to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Crazy Tracy, which one was Crazy Tracy again?
She's the one that lives in the house with the rat, and she uses like the healing potion, the revivify, or whatever it is. Yeah. Hey, let me rub you down, big boy. Like,
yeah.
You know that somebody at Nintendo was like, we're gonna have fun with this one.
What's the alligator's name? Do you remember the alligator? The one that eats dog food?
Yeah, and he had bananas, right?
Yeah. I'll eat your dog food. Here's some bananas.
I didn't include a lot of these side quest people because they were like a one-stop shop, Yeah. We didn't have to go back to them. But yeah, that was fun. That side quest, that whole series, you got to give something to somebody for something else. That was neat. I appreciated that.
So when I first played this game, I never did that.
Nope, me neither.
I never got the weapon, which we'll get to later, from all this crap. I just said, no, you get your own shit. You're not, no, get your own dog food.
Right.
Get off my lawn.
I probably visited them in the wrong order, and that was it. Okay. Totally forgot about that. Let's get to the playthrough. We start out, you wake up from your shipwreck dream in, I don't know what the town's called, Terran's house, call it that. And then they want you to go down and find your shield, which was not too hard. No, they give you your shield, that's right.
How does he know that you have a shield? It's got your name on it.
It's got your name on it. Boom. So yeah, you get the shield, and you're puttering along. You go down to the beach, and you got to use your shield to get to the next thing, which is your sword. So I like that. It gave you practice with the shield that I think I maybe used like 5 times after that. I don't use the shield in this game at all. And then you get your sword and you bust some shit up on the beach, and you're like, yeah, this game's going to be easy. All these guys are just falling. And then it goes weird. You have to go up into the woods and get the mushroom to give to the witch, which I think was also in Link to the Past. So that's a nice little keepsake from that one.
So I did.
Does some. Go ahead.
So I didn't do this when the first time I played through this game. I thought the only way you could get the powder was to go to the game machine thing. So I was collecting coins left and right. I'm like, I'm going to get that powder because I need the powder to sprinkle it on Ding Dong. And I sat in the trading crane game until I got the powder. I never even caught on the whole mushroom thing early on.
Huh. Yeah, just go up to the Moblin Forest and bust some skulls.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that was good. Getting there, that was decent. Oh yeah, I had in here that I also suspected that the witch could have been Taryn's island wife, and found out that he was going to see Crazy Tracy and turned him into a raccoon. So there was that theory that existed for me too.
Do you think it's kind of like a Mad Men scenario where like Mara knows that her dad is just gonna walk in on Tara and just banging people? Like she knows her dad, kind of like Sally in Mad Men. Like she knows her dad's a slut. That's it's what he is. He's Don Draper.
Yeah, she's probably gonna follow suit. We think that Marin Slutty, where'd she get it from? Her only source of inspiration.
Mm-hmm. I have a question for you.
Yes. What you got?
So Taran, as we've talked about, he goes in a bender, gets transformed into a raccoon. But here's the thing. Why is it when you talk to the raccoon, he wants to confuse you? Like, if you keep trying to go up, he's gonna be like, you'll be confused. You can't, in the past, if you keep going up, the directions get screwed up. Why does the raccoon have it out for you? Like, for what reason is the raccoon pissed off at you?
PCP.
It's a hell of a drug.
Yeah. I don't know. Raccoons are mischievous, right? So he's probably just trying to fuck with you because that's what raccoons do.
They get into your dumpster and they point you in the wrong direction when you're wandering through the forest.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
So yeah, you save Taryn and you get your little entrance, and it makes you go down, I think, into a little dungeon or a little cave, and then you pop out and you get the tail key, which leads us to our next stop, which was the Tail Cave dungeon. So you're going to go all the way from the forest back down to the beach, go over to the side of the beach, pop that sucker in, and we are in our first dungeon. I think so. I also kind of try to spin this with a rating system. So 1 to 10. Yeah, 1 to 10. How hard was each dungeon? So Tail Cave, 1 to 10. What do you think?
Super easy. Easy. Tail Cave, like a 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I said 2. I didn't think that things were like, if I never got damaged in a dungeon, I would rate it a 1. So I said this was 2.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Pretty easy.
Yeah. The Rock's Feather, you get that in this one. I think this is the best first item in any Zelda game that you get from a dungeon.
Yeah, it's super useful.
Yeah.
And being able to
get this.
Minish Cap, I think, lets you jump. Right? Yeah. Yeah,
that had some funky additions too. Yeah, this one was great. The addition of the side scroll with the Goombas. So we get some Mario inspiration here. That was pretty neat. They're not particularly hard at all when you do these side scroll things. They get a little harder, but I feel like they were just paying homage with these. I mean, that was cool. I liked it coming down and around.
It's the only 2D Zelda that I enjoy. right? The only 2D side-scrolling Zelda I enjoy.
That's it. So yeah, that wasn't bad. And then the mini boss is Rolling Bones, and he was absurdly easy. You just got to hop over that little spike and just smack him.
He's the guy winging the log at you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just rolls the log, you hop over it, and you just keep slashing at him. Not bad at all. The rest of the dungeon, still very linear, very easy. I thought that the boss in this one was difficult, mainly because he knocks you off the edge. He wasn't, you didn't die on him, but you get knocked off the edge, you got to go all the way back up. It's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's that Link to the Past boss, but they dragged it in. Instead of being like the third castle, it's the first castle it's in. Yeah, he's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, so that was a nice surprise because some of the bosses in the later dungeons are way easier than he is. So yeah, that was a little tough. So coming out of that one, we go to the Bottle Grotto. And the little lead up to this is that the Bow Wow, a.k.a. the Chain Chomp, got kidnapped from Meow Meow. Oh, shit. Also, how the hell do you kidnap something that eats you?
Yeah, that's a good question. He eats everything.
He is a savage. Like, if you could keep something for the rest of the game, and I had to pick between Rooster and this dude, I'd pick this dude all day. Like,
yeah.
You don't have to do anything. He just eats everything.
I don't know how you kidnap a Chain Chomp. That just seems unlikely. Calling bullshit on that one.
That magic dust. They saw the witch before they got here. So you got to go rescue this dude, and he got kidnapped by the Moblins in their little lair, little crack den, and this was not bad at all. The boss, I think he charged at you. He'd get a little tricky.
He had the stupidest looking face. I don't know why, but every time I look at him, it's just like this good guy. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it other than the sound effect. Like if I look at his face, just like that's that's him.
When you have a bunch of lackeys that are borderline challenged, you'd be pretty pissed too. Yeah. So then you got to make your way to the swamp. And when I was in second grade, I could not figure this out. It took me like 3 days to figure out that you just got to go up there and he eats them for you. Like I got so pissed at this game, but then just seeing that, like, oh, he just eats that. Okay, boom. Did not need a key for this. No side quest for the key to get it in this place. I guess Bow Wow is your key. Sucks you can't bring him in here.
You got lost in the Topanga Swamp.
Yeah. Also, the sharks are sneaky. I like those enemies. They jump out of the water. You got to time your hits right. Otherwise, you're going to fuck you up. And then the likes. So these are those little funnel cake looking motherfuckers that just take your shield.
Oh, the cakes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The funnel cakes, man. They'll fuck you up. And thankfully they don't take it. You get your shield back. But I think it would have been neat because, you can get another shield right in that shop. So these guys just take your shield and you're done. I think they should have made you go back and get another one. Pay for it.
Yep.
Yeah. So then we get to the dungeon here. And also, another fun side fact of this is that there's different dungeon music for each one in Link's Awakening, which they did not have yet to this point for any of the previous Zelda games.
Oh, see? Yeah, I missed that because I heard one sound of silence, and I don't mean the Simon and Garfunkel song. No, that was I just heard silence. Yeah. Yeah, I play with the volume on low because it drove my wife crazy if I turn it up too much because she doesn't like, 8-bit MIDI sounds. But yeah, they had different music in each dungeon for this. And that was pretty impressive doing it on the Game Boy. So, props to them because it was pretty good. What else? The mini boss on this one. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Hinox. No. Nick! Raging Hinox. How hard was this dungeon overall? I'll backtrack a little bit for you. What do you think? I didn't find the dungeon hard, but I'm going to rant about the boss later.
Yeah, same. I gave this a 3.
Yeah,
a little harder than the first one. Yeah. Power bracelet was the item of choice in this dungeon. I am very glad to have this because every time you bump into a fucking rock in this game, it goes, oh, jeez, that's too heavy. What are you going to do? Why does it have to do that every time? You don't even press a button near it. You just touch it.
Could they have that is a setting you hit it once, you understand you can't do it, move on, it saves. I kept bumping into stuff too, and it's like, oh my god, shut the fuck up.
Right? Oh geez, yeah, this shiny crystal, what are you gonna do? Looks like you're gonna run through it. Oh yeah, thanks, dickhead. I don't have those yet. Oh yeah, I know that. You told me 1,200 times already.
I'm not an idiot.
Yeah. Right? So yeah, glad to get this power bracelet so you can finally get those super heavy objects out of your way. And yeah, this dungeon wasn't too bad, except for the one room where you have to defeat the enemies in order. And the stone slab tells you this, but I didn't get it as a kid. I didn't, what you have to do, the Polza voice, they couldn't have said the bunny, the wizard, and the bat. Come on. What the fuck is a Pol's voice? That's very weird.
John. Don't you? Everyone knows what a Pol's voice is.
Totally.
It's the voice of Pole.
So yeah, finally figured that out as a child. And then I recalled that as an adult, and I swore a bunch of times. I was like, you're not tricking me again, Nintendo. So let's get to the boss on this one. That was hard.
Fuck this boss.
He was challenging. So the genie in the bottle, baby. Aguilera.
Come on in, let me out. So my notes, right? All I have underneath this guy is boss, genie, and then sub-bullet. Fuck this boss. I died a lot.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly the same. Yeah, he was very tough. I would say toughest besides the what is that? The Moldorm and the Eagle are annoying. This guy was just tough. I think there's one that's tougher than this one, and I'll get to that.
I don't. I have him ranked as my hardest boss.
Oofa.
He's like, oh, you can't hurt me when I've got my... It's like, fuck off. I will hurt you. I will hurt you plenty. You just stay there. And then he chucks all the flames at you, and it's just like dead. It's all he did was die.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Glad to get that one over with.
Mm-hmm.
Our next one is the Key Cavern. But before we get to that, we have to do 8,000 little side quests for this shit. So,
yeah.
The trading sequence. Very cool aspect of this game. You start out with the Yoshi doll from the Claw game. And then you give it to the kid, who gives you the ribbon, I guess, right?
You give it to, don't you go to the Papa and his deadbeat Papa and his bastard children? Don't you give the Yoshi doll to the bastard?
Yeah. You give it to him because he wants to give it.
Here, you little bastard.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a Yoshi.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks, guy. Thanks. Here's a shitty old ribbon. So he gives you the ribbon, which you trade to the mini Bow Wow for dog food. Right? Yeah, dog food. And then you give the dog food to the crocodile for bananas. I can't believe I just said that sentence. So, yeah. Very strange. And then that leads us to where we are now, because one step in this process is that you have to get your monkey friends to build you a bridge, and they only do it for bananas. But before that, you have to accumulate enough rupees to buy the magic shovel, or the super shovel. I forgot what it is. Anyways, it's outstanding. This is the best shovel ever known to man.
That's not true.
Or you can... Or you can steal.
Yeah. You could. So you could take the Nick route, Hinox, Mr. Hinox himself, or Hinox. You can steal it and then run through the rest of the game with Thief as your name. As Nick did proudly. Nick proudly, like right off the bat.
Scarlet letter type shit, man. Like, that's brutal.
Nick, why is your name Thief? I needed a heart. You couldn't have got a heart from a bush? No, I just stole it from the store. You don't steal everything you want?
Yeah.
It's fucking free.
Little does he know that, you stole that. If you go back into that store, this dude will summon the fucking power of Gandalf and fry your ass.
Why can't he fight the Windfish? He's got the power. Like, you could have max hearts, right? Max hearts. If you're in that Game Boy Color version, you could have the special tunics that cut the damage in half. Like, you could be just decked out. You go in that store after stealing, he's going to fuck you up. Like, why can't he fight the Windfish? What a lazy asshole.
He's all powerful, yeah. Baddest bitch in the game right there. He also looks like, did you ever watch Dexter?
Yeah.
He looks like Masuka to me. His counterpart in the crime scene analysis lab.
All I can remember from the show is, Titi, get out of my laboratory. It's the worst Dexter ever.
So yeah, I meant Dexter from Showtime.
Yes. Yeah, I've had too many beers. Yeah, he does look at Masuka.
Oh, dude, yeah. So we started watching Dexter again, and that's where I got my inspiration.
He does look like Masuka. You're right.
Right. That's not racist, guys. That's not racist. That's just an interpretation of mine.
He's got a furrowed brow, right? He's kind of a
the furrowed brow.
You get the furrowed brow. It has nothing to do with Dexter's Laboratory. Now I get your Masuka comment. They're both bald, right? Masuka's bald.
Exactly. This guy's bald and furrowed.
What's the other guy? Batista?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my favorite. That guy was awesome. Put him in this game.
Man. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. So you get the shovel, and you get your monkeys to build your bridge, and they leave behind a stick, but we don't get to use the stick yet. So we have to go. Actually, I think before this, you have to visit Richard, who is the biggest twat in this entire game. He wants you to go find his golden leaves so you can go through his villa, which is a total sham because there's just a bunch of fucking holes in the ground. Like, what are we doing here, folks?
Yeah, fuck Richard.
So you go and you get Richard's golden leaves in this castle, and you can't just go to the castle. You got to sneak into the castle. So you got to get monkeys to build you a bridge to sneak into this castle to get golden leaves. And this castle was all right. I felt like they could have done better. This was, I don't know, it wasn't that intense at all. You know, it wasn't that hard. You got through it. So yeah, you get the 5 golden leaves, you go back. Richard allows you to go into his basement. And
come down here, little boy.
Right. We're going to get back to Richard's basement later in the game. So you do all this work for him, and then he makes you go into his backyard full of fucking holes, and then you have to go dig up a key. Like, this guy is terrible. He's a bunch of frogs. What's he doing with those frogs?
Well, so he's from some other game. There's a game on it for Whom the Frog Bell Tolls or something like that. I don't know. Some weird name mixed with some, classic literature. I don't know anything about it because it wasn't released here because Nintendo doesn't like to do that type of thing.
Oh man, we need to get some of those Japanese games.
Yep. So he's from that.
Yeah, go ahead.
So he's from that, and he's the hero in that game. He's a lazy pansy in this. Yeah, he's the hero, like Richard. Man. I think he's like the main character.
He's sold out. He's terrible in this one. No,
sure.
Don't jump up. Okay,
What?
The cat's about to jump. The cat's about to jump up on the laptop.
Oh, we're gonna lose all of this. We're gonna lose an hour of talking about dirty girls in Dexter's Laboratory. We're gonna lose an hour.
Don't do it. So we move on very quickly because the next dungeon's only like, 2 screens up from when you get this friggin' key.
Yeah.
It's called the Key Cavern. It's very original. I gave it a 4. I'm going in ascending order here. Every one of these has not been that challenging.
Yeah, 4 is good.
This one was the hardest one yet, so that's I think how it should be, progression wise. The fact that they had an extra key in this one kind of threw me for a loop. I don't know if you knew that, but they had more keys than you needed in this one. So that was just a clever little ploy. And the fact that they utilized throwing things at doors was pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know if that was in another Zelda game up to this point or not.
Right.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't think of any from Link to the Past. And then in this one too, they did switch crystals that you needed to hit that would affect the stuff in another room. And they might have done this before, but this is the one that like really stuck with me because you had to backtrack a little bit more in this dungeon than you did in the others. And the mini boss in this one were the snakes, and this was the hardest mini boss yet. These guys, I had a tough time with because you don't know where the fuck they're going. Like, you got to time those bombs just right because you don't have enough bombs to go around. Early on, because I didn't do the little bat goblin guy that curses you with more carrying capacity. I didn't do that to this point.
That guy's great.
He's awesome. Worst curse ever right there. So yeah, you had to get these friggin' snakes to swallow these bombs. And I think I ran out, so I had to go back and get more. But in this one, I think there were some in the dungeon that were like floating or something like that, so it wasn't that bad. And then I learned that you could pick bombs back up and just hold them, and they wouldn't blow up. So that made it easier. I learned the hard way there, though.
You're like Batman in that 1960s Batman. Like, you could hold the bomb all day. You just pick the bomb back up. You could run around the docks with the bomb.
Time suspends itself. The item in this one were the Pegasus boots, which I did miss having these as a standard item, like Link to the Past. And the biggest pet peeve in this game to me was the item menu. And I get it, you only had 2 buttons. You couldn't do a lot. And that made it hard. But
I like that they let you take away the sword. I wish that they would have let you do that in other games. Like, you got to sign, like, get rid of the sword. I mean, think about that. Like, how cool would that be? Like, I'm going to use a hook shot rest of the game.
Right.
In this game, like, no need. I mean, use a boomerang. Nothing but boomerang.
Yeah, that's it. I did like the Pegasus boots and the sword. You just whip it right out and you go to town, bust some bitches up. But the fact they did utilize the feather and the boots a lot for some things, and I probably was bad at this before too, but playing on the Wii Classic controller, trying to roll the buttons as you're jumping, like to get the long jump in.
Oh yeah,
I fucked that up a lot. I fell down quite a few holes this time around. So that was tough.
Yep.
Nothing else of merit from this. The boss was pretty easy.
Yeah, easy boss. Just run into him
a bunch. He's done. Yeah, beat that guy up. So we move on to dungeon number 4, and at this point we can do more in our trading sequence. So the stick comes into play here with our boy Mexican Mario. And he has to get a honeycomb down with bees. This guy's dumbass. What is he doing? He is still drunk. I could picture a drunk guy in Florida doing this.
I like how you pick Florida. Like, that's where the dumbasses are. If you want to find someone who's fucking with bees, Florida.
I have been to Florida way too many times, and let me tell you that is probably top 5 dumbest states. I catch some flack for that.
The one guy that we've already offended, saying that Earthbound sucked, is a Floridian, and you've pissed him off. So like he's completely done. Like this is.
I guarantee you, if you actually looked at like some sort of test scores, Florida would be in the top 5 for lowest. I'm just saying.
Most likely to knock a beehive on yourself, Florida.
Oh man. So yeah, I appreciate the comic relief in this game. I feel like Link to the Past and Legend of Zelda didn't have a lot of that, but it's been well received in this one. It was pretty cool. So you're gonna do a little bit more side questing here, and you have to get the ocarina, and you get that in that weird dream dungeon, right?
Oh yeah, you have to go in. You have to sleep in the bed. Like, there's another question for you. Like, why would you just assume you need to go sleep in the bed? I mean, we all do it, but why?
Yeah.
What would make, if you're on this strange island, you just shipwrecked, right?
There's no other beds that you can go to sleep in either, by the way.
What makes you think just walk into someone else's house? Like, that's their property. You're not going to walk in there to sleep in someone else's bed. Go sleep outside. Get your own fucking house.
Yeah. Yeah. So you go into this little spiral dungeon where you just go around the outside and work your way in, and you have to slaughter the fucking walking pickles. That's what they look like to me, like a pickle cactus.
They do look like pickles.
And these guys suck. Like, I lost a lot of hearts, and I didn't know that you could. I think I did this before I got the boots, and I would try to jump over them, and I would get hurt. So yeah, they were challenging. And then you get the ocarina, and your girl teaches you the Windfish's Ballad off the bat once you get that, when you go see her. And you can also, when you take her to the animal village, so there's no little town in this. It isn't just this centralized one. And it's full of animals. And apparently they love this chick because she comes over all the time and sings to them. And you meet a bear who wants your honeycomb, and he gives you a pineapple.
That's fair. That's fair,
decent
right?
Decent trade
right?
there.
I feel like it's kind of like the eBay story that maybe I think Snopes probably has proven wrong at this point. But, the guy that traded, like, what was it, a paperclip for a pen, and a pen for a notebook, and a notebook for, and he ends up with like an entire house off that. I mean, that's kind of like we're doing here, right? I mean, you get to, I feel like a honeycomb is a good trade for a pineapple.
Yeah. Yeah. I would be okay with either of those.
I think getting the stick is the worst. That's the worst trade. I can get sticks anywhere.
Right? Like, you just left this shit for me, monkey's great. Thanks.
I'm fucked. Back to paperclip.
Can you imagine? I actually kind of want to try this now. Is dipping pineapple in honey. What would that taste like?
If it's good, your brand should be Chef Bear.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. That's a cool character.
That's our calling. Pineapple honey. No one's thought of that. That's unique.
Nobody. Good call. All right. We have some we have products we can market now.
I think for part 2 of this, because we're probably going to have to do a part 2, right? The rate we're going, it's going to be 1 in the morning. Part 2, we all bring honey and pineapple when we have Nick back, and we can discuss what we think about the honey pineapple combo.
Groovy.
Fuck, podcast is canceled. Podcast is done. Business venture. Honey pineapple. Done.
I think so. So yeah, you want to conclude it at this point? You want to keep going?
Let's get up to the catfish maw. Let's get up to that, because I want to make Nick discuss that.
Yeah.
Because that level was a dick. That was a dick level. So I want Nick to run up with that.
Sure. So after you drop this and you get the pineapple, you have to get Marin to the big walrus that is blocking your way. And she does a thing. She works her charms. She twerks. This walrus is like, fuck yeah, lady. Let me get some of that. And he runs out of the way. I don't know. He misses. All
I could think of is Miley Cyrus. That's who she is. You're running around the island with Miley Cyrus.
It's a good time had by all, apparently. So the walrus moves and opens the way for you to go into the desert, which the desert in Link to the Past was really cool. I like that that whole side of things. But this one's truncated, and you just got to fight one of the sandworms. And he's not bad. So you beat him up. I don't think that took that much effort. And you drop down, you get the angler key for the next dungeon. And I think there's a piece of the heart down there, too, if you bomb a wall. I haven't done any of the pieces of the heart because I think that's pretty standard Zelda stuff.
Yeah,
little side quest. I haven't done the seashells yet either. We'll get back to that. What else we got? I note that all these little side quests for obtaining the keys is pretty cool. You know, you got to do these little things here and there. Nice aspect of the game that the predecessors did not have, and I don't think they continued it as frequently for the ones to come either. And I had a note here too that the color dungeon was in this sequence, but you and I did not get to do that, so we have to pick Nick's brain on what he thought about that.
I'm going to quote him. Ready? This is my pretend to be Nick. Ready? Yeah, there's a dungeon, and I had colors.
Yeah,
that's my Nick. That's pretty good. Well, so next time we record, when we get part 2, Nick can tell us what he thinks of my Nick impression.
Oh, he's going to lambaste it. Which leads us up to the mountain, and you get to drop down this waterfall, and you get into the Angler's Tunnel, which was not hard. I think this one was on par with the one before it. Not bad at all.
I think the hardest part's getting in it.
Yeah. You gotta go all over the friggin' place to get to this dungeon. You gotta go down the village, you gotta get to the desert, and you gotta make your way all the way back up to the mountain. So, yeah, I agree with you. This was a long road to get to the dungeon number 4. I gave this one a 4 as well. It was not hard. I will say that the mini-boss fight was more challenging than the ones before it. The cue ball chucks that fucking thing at you, and then whines and tries to come get it. But like, if you're not on a linear path with this asshole, it's really hard to hit him.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. I mean, the couple of times that I did that, I was able to just spam him, like bam, 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 and he's dead. But I had one playthrough on this because I think I died doing something else, or I reset, or I did something because I had to fight him twice. So I fucked up doing something. I don't know what. The first time I went to fight him, I got my ass not handed to me, but I wasn't in the line of sight. So it wasn't like the genie. It took a little bit. The second time I went in and I fought him and I just bam, 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 just kept throwing it at him and he was done. I mean, you could toast this guy.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, he was good. So once you beat him, you move on through and you get the flippers, which are pretty standard Zelda stuff from the early stages. Mm-hmm. And I like that these allow you to go to more areas. And they've done this all along, and I think that's one of the better aspects of the whole Zelda franchise is that you keep building and you get all these items that allow you to do more. So I think that's cool, and this was along that trend. They don't utilize them as much as Link to the Past did, though. I think the flippers are a little less impactful in this game than Link to the Past.
Yeah. I didn't really use them. I mean, yeah, they weren't like Link to the Past. I'll give you that.
Yeah, where you have to go in and get Zora, and it's a whole thing through that. But yeah, these were good, and nothing else of note in this dungeon, except for the easiest boss in the entire Zelda franchise was the anglerfish.
Yeah.
In this dungeon. I don't get that. It took like 5 seconds to beat this guy.
I had a harder time getting around like the electric pickle things that you were talking about before. Like those are a harder boss than the fish.
Yep.
This fit is so easy.
I don't understand that. Why this was a boss.
Does he get harder? Like if you don't just swim in and just start chopping his thing up? Like, could it be hard? Could it be a hard? I mean,
I don't know. You can swim. The swimming in this one's weird too because this is the first time that they've gone side scroller swimming, but you can also like, slash your sword down. So like you can just sit on top of this guy and hit him like 10 times and he's dead. It didn't take 5 seconds.
Yeah. That's a weak sauce of a boss.
Yep, you can wash your hands of that one. That was a piece of cake.
All right.
Yeah. So we can conclude at this point for part 1 because that's about the halfway, and we will resume with the Catfish's Maw. I like that name. It's pretty cool. Pretty good dungeon. I think that was one of the best ones.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I hope we have Dirty Nick back for the next one because he's
gonna be all raging, ready to go.
I mean, are there any offensive things that we need to say now? Like, right? We don't have Nick right now. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I mean, now's the time, right? We don't have Nick. We can be as gross and dirty and as offensive as possible. And then when Nick comes back the next time, we can have him sign his liability waiver because we're legitimate. And then we're going to have to tone it down. Like, we can go to like a 5. Right now, we can go to like a 7.
But yeah, I can stop Audacity.
Yeah, we probably should do that, right? Yeah.